Okay, the title of this is Performing Calculations with Significant Figures. We're going to talk about addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. Now, with addition and subtraction, the answer can only be as precise as the least precise piece of information. So the first thing to do is to simply work the problem, and I have started that here. So if you add these two numbers, 13.7444 and 13.1, this is the answer that your calculator will give you. However, you need to record your answer using the correct number of significant digits. Now, if you look at 18.7444, that number is precise all the way to the 10,000th place. But if you look at 13.1, it is precise only to the 10th place. The 10th place is less precise than the 10,000th place. So we need to round our answer to the 10th place. Another way to look at that is, as we read from left to right, we encounter the 10th place before we encounter the 10,000th place. So again, we round our answer at the 10th place. So I'm going to draw a line here. We're going to end this answer at the 10th place. We have a remainder, 444. That rounds down. So we would report this answer as 31.8. We round it down, and the answer ends at the 10th place. Similarly, we have a subtraction example, and again, I've already begun the work, so this is what the calculator gives. If we look at 54.667, our number ends at the 1,000th place. If we look at 12.4432, the number ends at the 10,000th place. The 1,000th place is less precise than 10,000. We encounter thousands before we encounter 10,000. So again, we need to round our answer. The remainder here is an 8 that rounds up. So we report this answer as 42.224. We have two more examples of addition and subtraction. Here is one that is addition, and again, I've done the preliminary work. If we look at these numbers, this number goes all the way out to the 1,000th place. These two numbers end at the 100th place, and this number goes to the 10,000th place. Of those choices, 100th is the least precise, so we are going to end the answer at the 100th. We have a remainder, 40, that rounds down, so this answer is reported as 17.71. The last example of addition and subtraction is this one. If we look at 5.000, the significance of that number ends at the 1,000th place. If we look at 4.0, the significance of that number ends at the 10th place. Tenths is less precise than thousandths. We encounter tenths before we encounter thousandths. So we end the answer at the 10th place, and we report this answer as 1.0. Okay, that is addition and subtraction. There is a different rule for multiplication and division. Now, the answer can still be only as precise as the least precise information, but how that works out in application is a bit different. If we look at these two numbers, 20.8 divided by 4, we see that we have three significant figures in the top number. We have one significant figure in the bottom number. We do the calculation on the calculator, and the calculator tells me that the answer is 5.2. But when I consider these two numbers, I see that one significant figure is the least precise piece of information. And so my answer can have only one significant figure. I round this answer to one significant figure and report it as 5. In another example, I'm going to multiply 20.8 times 1.5. And so I'm going to do the calculation on my calculator. Okay, I'm going to, again, just double check that. 20.8 times 1.5, and my calculator tells me 31.2 is the answer. But I'm smarter than the calculator because the calculator doesn't account for significant figures. 20.8 has 3 significant figures. 1.5 has 2 significant figures. 2 is less than 3. 2 is less precise than 3 significant figures, and so my answer needs to have 2 significant figures, and I round that answer to 31, which has only 2 significant figures. Okay, I have 2 more examples. With this problem, I am going to work it out on the calculator. And the calculator tells me 154.368. Now I'm going to double check that. And I did that correctly. So now I must decide how many significant digits I have. I have 2 significant figures here in 3.2. I have 4 significant figures in 48.24. 2 significant figures is less precise than 4, and so I can only have 2 significant figures in my answer. And those 2 significant figures are going to be in the hundreds place and the tens place. So I am going to round 4.368. That is going to round down. So I am going to report my answer as 150. I am not going to underline my 0 because the 0 there is not significant. Alternately, if I chose, I could express this answer as 1.5 times 10 to the second power, and that would be equally correct. The last example here is 4.1 divided by 85.28. I have 2 significant figures in my numerator, 4 significant figures in my denominator, so my answer should have only 2 significant figures. When I work this on my calculator tells me that this is 0.048076923, and I'm going to double check that. And I got the same thing again. So I have to round this to 2 significant figures. Remember that this 0 is a placeholder. It is not significant. So my first significant digit is this one in the hundredths place, and my second significant digit is this one in the thousandths place, and I have a remainder, 0.76923. 0 is going to round down. So I am going to report this answer as 0.048, or if I chose, I could report it as 4.8 times 10 to the minus 2. Alright, have a good day.